The night the shadows moved. It was December 1994 in Port Elizabeth, South Africa. Alison Botha was just pulling up to her home. A night like any other when the shadows moved. Two men forced their way into her car at knife point. They drove her far away from the city lights, into the pitch-black isolation of the Noordhoek Nature Reserve. There, they didn't just want to rob her. They wanted to erase her. They raped her, choked her until the world went dark. And then, in a frenzy of pure evil, they began to strike. One man stabbed her 30 times in the abdomen. The other, realizing she was still gasping for air, took a knife to her throat, slashing it 16 times. They left her in the dirt, certain they were leaving a corpse. The choice in the dirt. Silence fell over the clearing. Alison lay in the sand, the life draining out of her. But then she saw a flicker of light, the headlights of a car in the far distance. She tried to move, and that's when she realized the true extent of the horror. Because of the deep wounds to her neck, her head felt disconnected from her body. Her muscles were so severed, she had to physically hold her own head, upright to breathe. When she tried to crawl, she felt her internal organs slipping from the wounds in her stomach. Most people would have closed their eyes and let the darkness take them. But Alison made a choice. She took her denim shirt and tied it tightly around her waist to hold her intestines inside, with one hand gripping her hair to keep her head from falling back, and the other clawing at the sand. She began to crawl, the longest mile. Imagine that journey, inch by painful inch, through the thorns and the cold South African night. Every breath was a whistle through a severed windpipe. She tracked the distant road, writing the names of her attackers in the sand as she went, determined that even if she died, they would be caught. She reached the edge of the asphalt and collapsed. A young medical student named Tienya Botha saw a shape on the road. He thought it was a fallen animal, until he saw a hand rise. When the doctors saw her in the emergency room, they were speechless. She had no pulse in her arms. She had lost nearly all her blood. By every law of medicine, Alison Botha should have been dead. The amazing ending, but here is where the story shifts from a nightmare into a legend. Alison didn't just survive. She thrived. She didn't let those men take her spirit. She stood in court and looked her attackers in the eye as they were sentenced to life in prison. Today, if you saw her, you wouldn't see a victim. You'd see a woman with a radiant smile and a voice that fills auditoriums. She became one of the most sought-after motivational speakers in the world. She wrote a book titled I Have Life, and she even became a mother. A miracle in itself, given the damage to her body. She often tells people that she had a life and a death sitting on her shoulders that night. She chose life.